hit me. I thought it was like amazing. It was the night before the gig, and we were out of the club.
Right.
Like I said, I think it was Rose Bum Bum. Just everyone was, you know, I mean, a lot of the French people, kids that were there knew the class. You know, we were in there, they knew the class we were in there.
Right.
It might have been a band, maybe. As a matter of fact, it may have even been like a rockabilly night or something. With like, I remember black rockabilly guys, French black like rockabilly guys. Kind of like Buzz and the Flyer kind of guys. A lot of those kind of guys were hanging out. And then I remember like, okay, I said we left. And we hadn't yet even done the gigs yet. You know? And then there was that night on the way back was when they asked me. I think everyone was really tired. You know, 'cause, I think that was like the first day we had like got there the day like the night before or something, and you know everyone was pretty tired. I was just in anticipation of doing it. You know what I mean? Because I knew it was going to happen the next day. It was all like the whole month prior was coming to like you know, this is what was going to happen now. I was going to really be painting. And I was thinking a lot about the painting, you know, canvas, stretch canvas on collapsible stretches, you know what I mean, like fold, like a kind of accordion thing. And they just loaded it on the truck with all their sound system stuff, and brought of what I can remember even thinking about, you know what I mean. The most important thing on my mind was definitely that. Although at the time I was certainly caught up in being there in Paris. In a club with all these French girls, with Joe hanging on, you know, with his arm around me, kind of like talking to me, you know, finding out, you know, well, I mean, they were really into my impressions of the whole thing, you know what I mean? Like, I could see that they knew that it was this whole experience for me, you know what I mean? They provided the whole atmosphere that was there of like all these kind of like French tipsters running around, but, you know, just. It was kind of funny, you know. I mean, I thought it was all kind of a joke, you know. I thought, fuck, this is what it's like, you know, for a rock and roll band to like be on tour in Paris. I mean, I was just nervous. I was really nervous, you know what I mean, about getting up on stage, spray painting, all the people out there, just the music, you know what I mean, like. And just coming off. I was really more concerned with just coming off. You know? My first night wasn't very like, you know what I mean? Like the only thing that really hit me for a jolt that night was after thinking about the painting so much, and never once thinking about the song. You know what I mean? For the song to pop up was this total like other thing. You know what I mean? That I really didn't even. You know, get all into a big thing about, you know what I mean? I just thought, oh wow, alright, you know what I mean? Because at that point it was overload of things happening. It was packed, yeah, because everyone knew that the Clash were in town. You know? It was like the kind of thing where French people were telling me that like, people in France are really into like that, you know what I mean? People coming in and doing things, and they're all like, when they know something's coming, they get up for it and they really get into it, you know what I mean? Because there's nothing else happening once it's gone, you know what I mean? So it seemed like everyone was really G'd up and ready to go out, maybe Futura t-shirt. That's like all I had at that point. But see, then again, when my posters were around town, I don't think anybody really knew who I was that much at that point, like I say. It wasn't until the next night. I was really in a fog, you know what I mean? Because like, I was tired. It was all so like, it was all so fast, you know? That week was so fast. It was just like an explosion. I didn't have time.
Well, what was your impression of that club? Were these cool people or were they pretentious?
Definitely not. They were not cool.
They were pretentious.
They were slightly pretentious. They were more just like Momacs, you know what I mean? They're like hanging out. What I'm really trying to get at is that, you gotta understand, this first night I got there, not this first day we're out, like, I really couldn't make any kind of like sound decisions of anything. If I was a sailor, I was definitely part of the like, admiral staff, the captain's staff.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, wasn't no enlisted man's bullshit that, because there was definitely big respect was being thrown down at these guys. And I was just riding the wave of all that.
Right.
The thing is, like, they wanted me See, this is why I really respect these guys, like, because they wanted more of me than just for me to be like this person. Like, they wanted me to establish my own identity and not to have to rely on them. You know what I mean? To be carried. Because obviously they thought I could carry myself, so that's why they give me the chance anyway. And by eventually saying to me, hey, we want you to do this and we want you to do that, it's all steps of me doing things on my own to establish myself, so that, like, every time my name is mentioned, and oh yeah, that guy, you know, blah 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 blah, the class, and then, you know, or whatever. And they just knew maybe that within me, this is something I could do, you know, had I been given the opportunity or something. So my first night, I was really confused, you know what I mean? I mean, we left, and I was just thinking, like, well, tomorrow's the day, and I couldn't wait for it to all happen, because I'm, like, waiting for it to happen, you know what I mean? It was right on the verge that first night there. I just remember being in the cab, and being on the, I'm not sure if it's left or right, you know what I mean, but being on the side, opposite the like, Louvre, you know, over on the Eiffel Tower side. Someone started talking, I don't know who, Mick, Joe, perhaps. Then they both kind of were saying, yeah, we wanted, you know, like, we had a blah, 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 something, like an idea. Why don't we do your song, I think was, I didn't really understand what they meant.
Yeah.
I wasn't that, you know what I mean, I just wasn't even, like, I was dazed, you know.
Right.
And I said, well, I thought we already did it, guys, you know, kind of innocently.
Right.
And he says, no, we mean, like, tomorrow night, you know, like, here. You know, they said, come on, you know, like, you're from over there, you know what I mean?
Right.
And you're doing all this stuff, you know what I mean? Like getting your name out, getting this message out, you know what I mean? And now you've got something that's really saying something, you know what I mean? And you should want to get that out as well, you know? And like, now here's an opportunity for you to get this to the kids in France or something, you know, like whatever. And I just kind of thought, like, wow, you know, like, I really didn't think I could do it, you know, like, do a live performance in front of thousands of people, or however many, you know, 20 people, you know. You know, I mean, here's an opportunity to do it, do it, you know what I mean, rather than pass it up, which is, and you can certainly have the same feeling about many things when you have a decision to make, you know, and you kind of let it go, and it always kind of seems like you might regret it in a bit, you know, like, so I said, well, rather than say one day, well, I could have done that, I might as well do it. You know, Matan or something like that, like.
One of the major papers.
The big daily
the guy
paper.
dumped on you. Did he dump on the whole show, or
Yeah,
just dump on
he
the
like
rap?
dumped on everyone. You know, like the Clash were into this new funk music that was bullshit. You know,
Right.
all this kind of stuff. And this American.
Wait a second. The Tom Tom Club is already a big hit in France at this time. It's not like they don't know what rap music is.
Not really. Genius of Love hadn't broken yet. Just that. I don't think I didn't hear it yet. I mean, Wordy Rapping Hood was out. Wordy Rapping Hood was certainly out. But I mean,
All right.
I don't know why, you know, but this guy, whatever.
Where were you when you read the reviews?
At the show, at the sound check,
Before?
the third day.
So it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And somebody brings a paper in and translates it for you?
Yeah.
Who's doing the translating?
I don't remember, some girls.
And they were reading the paper, and then you're standing there.
And I was like, oh wow, and Joe's was like,
everybody's standing there?
well, yeah, it was backstage after one of the sound checks, I think. I was getting it read back from this girl, and we were all hearing it. I remember me, Mick, and Joe right there. About 6 people.
And what happened? You got pretty depressed.
I got bummed out, yeah. And I thought, like, well, damn, I shouldn't even be up there, you know, doing it and stuff. I started doubting myself, you know.
Right. And did Joe talk to you about it right away?
Yeah, well, Mick and Joe said, you know, first of all, I shouldn't, you know, I mean, why should I believe it? You know, why should I even care what these guys think?
Who said that?
Mick.
Okay.
And I thought, wow, you know.
Was there a positive review too? I mean, could you like get something?
No, the whole review was negative.
Yeah, but there had to be other reviews
the only
too.
positive end in that review was that I was doing a lot better with my painting than I was with my singing or something. You know what I mean? So then
There were other reviews that were positive, but I didn't even bother. I said, "Look, forget it. I don't want to read anymore." You know, like
Right.
don't let me read it. I didn't read any more of them really until I got back here.
Uh-huh.
You know, which I had another one so much minutes later, which turned out to be all right. You know. But anyway, we just did it. You know, and like it was that night that I kind of think stopped the number. Like I said, no, I was just gonna stop midway of the number.
The third night.
Yeah, the third night.
I don't remember this. What
Yeah.
happened?
Well, I just like was doing it, and I could see all these guys up in front, that were definitely not into it, and psychologically seeing them like giving me the bird and like.
Well, they just look bored, right?
Huh?
They look bored, or they look.
Oh no,
they
no,
didn't
no,
like
they,
you,
they
or-
were they were well into slacking me off. You know what I mean?
Oh, really?
Fuck you!
Oh,
you know,
really?
whatever, like
They
in
were giving
French
you
or something.
gestures and everything?
Definitely, you know.
Did
And it
anybody
was-
throw anything?
No, but it was like that compounded with reading the article, or
Right.
hearing it read that day. I was just like,
So you just
well, no, the
broke,
sound's just not turned up.
you just broke it off,
Yeah,
and then what happened?
and that was it.
You didn't finish the number?
No.
Did they finish playing the number?
Kind of, you know, like, I remember making myself like, you know, what's happening, you know, like, come on, you know, like, and I was just like, nah, I'm not saying that.
And then what'd they say to you backstage after
He
the
said,
show?
like, what happened, Future, you know what I mean?
And then
I said,
what,
hey, you
what-
know, it's just like,
and you said the whole thing's going downhill.
I said, yo, you know, like, this shit is whack, you know, like, I'm not gonna stand out there and, like, I have to take that shit from those guys, you know, like, you know, what's the problem, you know, I
Right.
told them, and they were like, you know, don't worry about it, you know, like, they were really like, they could see it was getting to me, right? So they said, look, if you don't want to do the number, you don't have to.
The shadow